podcast where three bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-hosts, Mr.
Ben Errington
and Mr.
Andy Conduit Turner. Hello, guys. How is
How's it
everybody?
going?
Hello.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. How are you?
Ooh,
You lost a bit of weight, Andy, on your head.
I have. Yeah, really slimmed down on the old
Really?
hair. Well, I've after all this training recently, my marathon is on Sunday, and I'm going to need every advantage I can get because I've had a little bit of a niggling injury in like the knee and my ankle. So I'm like literally, if I was a car, all of my warning lights would be on about now. So I just need to hold it together until
cut
the
your
end of
hair?
Sunday.
Is
Yeah,
that
I
how it works?
need every
Aerodynamic.
every ounce of less wind resistance and less weight I can be carrying on the day. I'm gonna have a massive wee before I run as well to make sure there's nothing.
Okay, we're gonna run naked.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get cold. I shiver so hard I pass through dimensions or something like that. So I'm gonna have to.
Wally
Wow.
West.
That's exciting. So you're feeling confident now. I mean, I'm confident in you always.
I think I'm bloody minded enough that I will make it. Like the longest training run I did was 21 miles. So there's another 5 to do on top of that, which once you've done 21 doesn't feel like that much more.
Yeah.
And I think on the day when there's other people around you and, there's a race going on and things like that, I'll get through it. It's fine. If I crawl over the end, I'm stubborn enough to make sure that I make it. But if anyone's listening to this and on Sunday, the 10th of April, just, send me a bit of energy my way.
Just a little bit of energy.
Raise your hands to the air. Think of Andy.
Yeah.
I'll gather it all up.
Like a
I'll do
spirit
that.
bomb.
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it just
Brighton?
Oh, so you're going all the way down to Brighton?
Yeah.
From Scotland?
Yeah.
That's longer than a marathon, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, but I use the car for most of it.
Oh, yeah. Cheater. Well, we wish you all the best. Good luck. Will you be listening to anything on your journey? What do you do? Music, podcast?
A little bit of music, and then I tend to go music to get me started. And then once I get sick of my music, I flip to a bit of a podcast just to keep me going. Some friendly voices on the way.
Maybe me and Luke will record a podcast for you. It's just us talking.
Yeah.
It's just pep talking you, but then it slowly descends into hijinks.
Yeah, that'll keep me going.
Yeah,
before I joined you full time, you guys have accompanied me on a couple of runs over the years.
Oh, well, there we go. How was that? Did
right.
you imagine you were just running away
Very
from us?
entertaining. No, just sort of.
We could do some ASMR where me and Luke are both in each of your ears, kind of like whispering. Maybe.
Go on, lad.
Go on, Andy. Go on, Andy, you big bully. Black Phillip.
Is that you?
Yeah.
I think me and Ben could crack out the yellow chicken dance, whatever it is that Buffy sings in the cheerleading thing in this funky chicken.
Oh,
go.
Yeah. One of 2 full cheer songs.
Just got worse with every line of lyric, it felt like in this. It was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty shit. Oh my God, that's even worse. Oh God, no, just make it stop.
I was like, you don't need to practice for that. Why should you go to cheerleading practice for that? That's just one practice.
Just let Hilary Swank take the lead. Come on.
Yeah.
Hilary's wank.
Oh, Ben.
That was been like a mean reviewer who has gone to
Hilary's
that
wank,
cheer.
more like
Hilary.
$1 million baby, more like dollar baby, dollar store baby. Sorry, Hilary. Love and respect to you forever and ever. Horror news, any of that knocking about? Anybody seen anything?
Little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Bede Alvarez has been tweeting because the Evil Dead remake is 9 years old, and he's been posting loads of Polaroids he took from the set that he has never shown anyone before, and he's been showing. He's on about he has some concept art for like a different ending, which I think was going to be more. I don't know. It's something to do with something that would tie it in with the original Evil Dead films even more. So he's going to post something like that on his social media at some point, which is quite exciting. But 9 years old. The Evil Dead remake is 9 years old.
Those
I'm pretty
Polaroids
sure
must have taken
we meant-
ages to come out. I thought they were quite quick. You've been shaking them for 9 years.
Bloody hell, shaking like a Polaroid picture. It's covered in blood, these, huh?
Yeah.
Horrific. The other
That's
piece of
good, though.
news. Did we discuss? I can't remember if we discussed this last week. Please stop me if you've heard this one before. The Crow, a new Crow movie of Bill Skarsgård. Did we discuss that last week?
No, I
We
don't think we did.
did. I
Did we?
think.
Did we?
Maybe.
We talked about
Bill's.
it.
Oh, it's not Bill's. Is it Bill Skarsgård? Is he the
Bill
little?
Skarsgård. Yeah. I
bald-eyed
think
one?
oh yeah, we talked. Yeah, so we talked about Bill Skarsgård.
We talked about his eyeballs.
Talked about his eyeballs
Mhm.
and about the It series, but yeah, he's been apparently.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know if it's 100% confirmed. But there's going to be a modern reimagining directed by Rupert Sanders, who directed Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell, the Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell. And apparently there's a Grammy-nominated singer called FKA Twigs, who also stars
Oh yeah.
as a crow, a female crow. I don't know.
There was for ages. There was going to be or they were trying to get a remake going with Corin Hardy is a director who did the Nun film.
Okay.
And what's Aquaman's real name again?
Jason Momoa.
or
Jason
Arthur Curry,
Momoa.
whichever you prefer.
Jason Momoa. It's my mower now. Screw you. Jason Momoa and B&Q, that is. A short story.
Yeah, Jason Momoa as the Crower. But
Jason
Momoa.
Oh yeah, we've all seen art for that, haven't we? Jason Momoa as the Crower. And yeah, I think it was recently it was the anniversary of Brandon Lee's death as well, I think.
Yeah.
So lots of Crow stuff in the news. But yeah, let's have a bit of this. Could that be a movie we cover on this podcast? Crow?
Yeah, he's quite a spooky boy. He's got a big Crow's got quite a Gabriel vibe to him. Maybe Gabriel, in the inevitable sequel to Malignant, that's how you can make Gabriel take a face turn. He's the Crow now.
Yeah.
Oh
Talking-
yes,
talking-
yeah.
Come out
You
of
said
that mind
face
palace.
turn. I was like,
Face
Oh.
turn literally just turns around. A question we saw that I think me and Andy involved ourselves in on Twitter this week was, if you could watch a horror movie again for the first time ever, what horror movie would you choose? I chose Malignant
yeah.
just because I think that reveal would be great to enjoy with me, and then also a similarly ignorant crowd. And Andy's choice was
Naturally, Sleepaway Camp. That
You
film for the
both,
first time.
I think you're both wrong, actually. I've actually weirdly, I was thinking about this. Thinking about this exact thing the other day for some reason, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's got to be Cabin in the Woods. Like, I wish I could
Yeah,
like
that's very
blank
a
my
very good
mind
answer.
and
That's a good
rewatch it from,
choice.
because it still holds up as well. Like, no matter what year it is, it's still zinging those same horror movie tropes. So you could just keep forgetting about it and keep rewatching it, and it would still be as
Yeah.
amazing every time.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
good.
That would be a great
Well,
one to see for the first time again.
Or maybe if you're a glutton for punishment, you could forget a film that you hoped was good and then be disappointed all over again. Like maybe the whole Resident Evil franchise. I could just in every film, maybe this would be
Yeah.
all right. Maybe this would be all right. Talking of
Just
that, I think I'm going to
boundless,
watch.
endless optimism.
if
Yeah.
you're going to watch the first Suicide Squad, then
Yeah, me going, this is going to be the greatest movie. Jared Leto was the Joker. I mean, it's absolutely
Revelation. Look, he's
inspired.
got a totally new look, and they've
Can't
they've
wait
done
for-
loads with the
can't-
music.
It's amazing. Can't wait to see him in the Morbius. So
Dr. Michael
Morbius.
Morbius at your service. Too right he
Oh.
is.
I don't know if I've ever been.
God.
I don't know if I've ever been surprised, like in a bad way. What movie
Oh.
that I've been like really excited about, and I've gone to watch it. I was like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh, maybe like a Star Wars, probably a Star Wars.
Oh yeah, probably a star. What about Halloween Kills?
Yeah, Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
In horror,
that's true, actually.
in horror world, Halloween Kills burned.
There was just a realization about halfway through where I was like, this isn't working out.
yeah.
I'm not
Like
having
a
good
stand-up
time.
comedian whose routine isn't going down well, and you're like, just stop now.
Dying on
just
your ass. Exactly.
Roll credits now.
Out of horror, I think the biggest feeling I have of that one, probably less extreme than Halloween Kills, though. I had a bit of that when I saw Batman v Superman. I went to a midnight
Oh,
showing and
yeah.
everything. And I was like, hang on a second, why am I bored in what
Yeah.
should be the best film time ever?
Yeah.
I
I think I've seen
remember it
some
was
reviews already before, when I went to watch it, so I was prepped.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Talking of the Resident Evil movies, I think I'm going to watch. I know you've been doing it, Andy. I'm going to watch the whole franchise, and maybe we could indulge in a franchise ranking.
We could, Ben. I've just finished. In fact, I haven't done the
just
animated
finished?
ones yet, but I did.
Oh yeah.
I'd seen all of them apart from the final chapter, and then I went through and finished with the final chapter.
The
so
final
I've
chapter,
just
also
done it.
known as the film that's got to have the most cuts in it ever. I think there was a scene in like a tunnel or something, and I was like, "Yeah, fucking motion sickness here." It's just like cutting literally every single angle. Oh god.
Also, I think the film that mostly threw away anything that was previous, like the end of the one before the last one. It's like, right, we're gonna have to work together to save everyone, and then like the beginning was, yeah, so between films that was a trick. He screwed me over. I'm in big trouble now. And
I have
now
never been. I mean,
Jorah
obviously,
Mormont's alive again.
we will discuss it in great detail. But I've
Yeah.
never ever been so disappointed at the representation of not just one character, but pretty much every major character. Oh, that guy kind of looks a bit like Leon. What the fuck are they doing? That guy kind of looks a bit like Wesker. That's pretty cool. What the fuck are they doing?
He's got some
And
sunglasses.
so on.
Yeah.
And so on. And so on. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
we'll
I'm
have
gonna
to.
do that.
We'll do a thing. Are you up for that, Luke, or you've got more respect for your life than to watch all the Resident Evil films?
You said how many? I don't even like them. I haven't seen them all before.
No, there's 6. There's 6 main movies. I guess if we include the one we did recently, Welcome to Raccoon City, we've done that. And I also watched the animated ones late last year. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'd be
plus
up
the
for
series.
watching a couple. I mean, so.
I mean, just say no. I'll be up for maybe if there was a. Is there a gun to my head? What?
Gun to your head, gun to your balls.
I don't know. It sounds like you're asking me to watch 5 films that I'm gonna hate.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Luke.
If you wiped my mind, got me excited, and then went to watch them, then maybe
we'll take this one on the chin. You catch up on all the Child's Play movies, and then we'll all do a ranking of those bad boys.
I'd need to do that. I've not seen most of them, so yeah. Okay, it's done. It's settled. It is
The only
settled.
bit of horror news I've seen, and I'm not sure if this is official yet. Rumors of a House of the Dead remake.
Not just rumors. Do you mean the game? Yeah.
Is it confirmed?
Not just rumors. It's out. Yeah. It's out tomorrow.
It's out tomorrow. That's
yeah. I know. So I think it's only on Switch.
Wait, how is it going to work? Because it's an on-rail shooter, right?
Yeah, I mean, on Switch,
be on rails?
I guess a Switch has a touch screen, so you could.
They've it looked. To be fair, I don't know if you've seen any footage of it. It looks kind of cool, but it doesn't look like they've changed all that much. I mean, it looks nicer. That's kind of it. It's had some lukewarm reviews that I've been reading today, but yeah, it's out tomorrow. Because I was a bit like, do I spend like I don't know 20 quid on it when it comes out for Switch, or do I wait? And I think I'm going to wait just because.
If I had force powers, I could summon my Switch to my hand from here. Tell Mr. Nintendo to whack my pre-order down. It's been a long time.
Are you gonna do it? Eh?
I'll see how much it is. Like, I think I'd grind my teeth a bit if it was like full price release. Maybe it's like 20 quid or something. I ain't got kids. I don't do drugs. I've got disposable income. It's all right.
Not anymore. But also, there's a place open in Bristol called Four Quarters, which I think is just like one of the sort of arcade bar places. I think that, as far as I can tell, House of the Dead 2 and 3 they've got.
Oh, see, that's what I want to watch it for. I mean, House of the Dead. You come for the shooting, but you stay for the story, don't you? You see what
Curian.
Yeah, see what Curian's up to. Hearing whether or not people want other people to come. Spoilers, they don't. Tell them not to.
No, don't come. Oh, well, I'm going to now. Don't tell me what to do.
Listen.
What? Don't come. Wasn't don't come used in something else as well? It's like
maybe Vampire Night.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, so I'll probably give it a shot at some point.
I used to love a light gun game.
How did that feel? Yeah. Thinking something was in the future and then suddenly it's there right now. How did that feel?
Oh, that was delightful. Never been so delighted.
It's like ordering food and it arriving immediately, like starving, and you go, "Oh, I'll have the carbonara, please." It's here.
You check on the Domino's tracker.
I don't know if I
has
like it
left,
to
has it
arrive
left there? Oh,
that
that's the
soon.
door.
You don't want it to arrive that soon because you're like, "What's going on here? Has it been microwaved?
Yeah. Has it been
Or is
cooked?
it ready to go? Has it been cooked? Nah, it's fine." The only other piece of news I've got is that a photo has been released of the two main actors in Interview with the Vampire, the series, the AMC upcoming small screen retelling of Anne Rice's Vampire Saga. Sam Reed is Lestat, and
Sam
Jacob
Reed,
Anderson
the guy
is Louis.
with wait, which one is Sam Reed? He's not the guy with like the really deep husky voice.
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I don't recognize him.
Sam Reed.
But yeah, so this is coming out sometime in 2022. So no official, but there we go. That's all.
For that, are you excited by it?
Yeah, I'll give this
what platform is it on over here? Do we know yet?
Don't know. But AMC apparently have acquired loads of Anne Rice, pretty much the whole Vampire Chronicles series. So every book, every spin-off, every crossover novel. So that they might be like, right, that's it. We're bashing this out. This is the new
adaptations for days.
Adaptations for days.
Not like AMC to take a theme and then run it into the ground with 100 spin-offs.
No, it's not. 100 spin-offs, and the spin-offs themselves are spoilers for the series that isn't even finished yet. Very naughty. Yeah, but that's all I've got down for news. Has anybody seen anything fun this week?
Yeah. So we had a Facebook group, Horror Movie Night the other night. We watched Mike Flanagan's Before I Wake, which I've seen before. Have you guys seen Before I Wake?
I have not.
I've not seen it. No.
So it's one of his early ones. I think so. Mike Flanagan's career, he did a Kickstarter for a film or some crowdfunding platform thing for his first film, which is called Absentia or Absentia. Not seen that one. And then I think this might have been his second film. You can kind of tell, but it's got Thomas Jane in it, Kate
Very nice.
Hudson in it, and a few other people. Jacob Tremblay, that little boy who was in loads of stuff for a little while. It's very Stephen Kingy, as we know Mike Flanagan likes to do. So the core concept is a couple whose little boy has died, and they adopt a new boy to get a new one in. And this boy, when he dreams, things from his dreams like manifest in the real world. So, for example, the first night he's sleeping, the couple are watching some TV, and these butterflies, imaginary butterflies, start floating around. And then they realize that if they show their new adopted child loads of pictures and videos of their dead child, when this new one goes to sleep, he starts to imagine their dead kid. And it's like there's a bit of a thing going on there. But then it gets creepy and weird and evil and realize that the memories become kind of twisted, and something that he dreams of, like some kind of malevolent spirit, consumes people. So they're kind of feeding this thing because they want to see their dead child.
It sounds like Penny Crayon, but instead of a crayon, it's a dream.
Penny Crayon? What's that?
Yeah, Penny Crayon, probably one of the most powerful characters in fiction.
Penny Crayon can draw anything. It's a cartoon. She can draw anything she wishes. Crayon, and it comes to life.
Yeah,
kind of like that. Yeah, but in dreams. Yeah.
Is the little boy, the new boy, is he voiced by Sue Pollard?
By what?
Sue Pollard.
Is Sue Pollard voice the new boy?
Weird that you say that, but yes. Yes.
Oh, Dennis! It goes on. Yeah, that's the.
It's pretty good. The core concept is cool, and some creepy moments. When the dream stuff gets evil, there are some cool moments, but it does feel quite sophomoric in the execution, and it doesn't seem to go far enough. I think we've talked about that in a few films recently, but it feels like it ends a little weakly. It's worth watching though. If you're a Mike Flanagan fan, it's probably good.
Still sounds interesting. And you've mentioned the golden thing. Thomas Jane's in there
with long hair.
Thomas Jane. He's in this
Scott
film as well, right?
Stapp. Thomas Jane's in Buffy.
He's listed in the cast. Now I don't know if I
Is
just
he?
missed him. Is he in the background punching a shark?
I don't know. I didn't see him. I saw.
I didn't see him.
Ben
I saw
Affleck.
like some
That's
other
weird.
people.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, maybe we'll remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else at all? Anybody?
Okay, so it finally happened. Supernatural Scooby-Doo crossover. Scooby Natural. It was actually great. It was like
Is it
they
animated, yeah?
Yes, it was. So the overall conceit is even really well done. So the idea is that the Winchester brothers they go to it's like a cursed pawn shop, and they help him with something that's come alive, and they kill it. And as a present, the guy gives them a TV, and as they're watching it, they get sucked into an episode of Scooby Doo. Now they're just playing along with it. They're like animated in the episode as well. They're just playing along with the episode because they've seen this episode before. They know how it goes. No evil thing really happens. Like it's always like a man in a mask. But then they find the first victim in the Scooby Doo house is actually been killed, and then they realize that it's like the episode itself is being haunted. So then they start to realize that the Scooby Doo gang might die, and then it's just really well done. The humor is like spot on, and there's like it made me really remember why I love Scooby Doo cartoons. I was genuinely just enjoying it as a Scooby Doo episode at times.
No, I might have to seek out just that episode.
I think you could just watch that episode, that one episode. It might not be as good because the characters in it, the reason you like Supernatural is because the characters are fun. But yeah, it's really well done, and I think just the way they kind of twined them together is really smart and really fun and kind of perfect, like a perfect crossover episode.
All right, that sounds great. I might have to give that one. A go. And now you've mentioned being a Scooby Doo fan, Luke. What generation of Scooby Doo fan are you? Do you love or hate Scrappy Doo?
I like Scrappy Doo.
I liked him.
I always
Scrappy-Doo.
hated that they made him a villain in the live action film.
Oh yeah.
I was
James
like,
Gunn's one misstep as a
That was
filmmaker.
not fair, was it? That was not fair.
why would you? Yeah, I mean,
I think the done thing is if you're a Scooby Doo fan of the original era, which is older even than I am, then Scrappy Doo was the thing that was added. He was the Poochie of the Scooby Doo thing that wasn't required, and people didn't like him.
I must
when I
go back
used to
to
watch
my
Scooby-Doo-
people.
Yeah, he died.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
way. I must go. My planet needs me. But yeah, I think it was the done thing to dislike Scrappy Doo. But I was a kid when he was in it.
Yeah,
And I loved it. Oh, like he is brave. That's why he's great.
yeah. I mean, I liked that he wasn't in every episode. It seemed, from what I remember. But yeah, I've got nothing against Scrappy. Just seemed like a little puppy.
Nothing against Scrappy Doo. What a
Scooby-Doo
little.
as well. Iteration after iteration, absolutely top tier theme music.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's Matthew Lillard doing the voice of Shaggy in this episode as well. And I was like, that's weird. Is he just the voice now of the cartoon Shaggy?
That is interesting, isn't it?
Or is he just doing it because it's this
'Cause it's
crossover
that.
episode? I don't know. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Scooby-Doo genuinely made me lol with something he said in it. Like it was stupid. Like it's just a really kiddie joke, but I was silly laughing at that. It was
I'm
good.
gonna have to check that out.
What else? Me and Andy both saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2 this week. Not together, unfortunately, which would have been lovely to go on a little trip.
And relevant to a horror movie podcast because Dr. Robotnik drops an Evil Dead reference.
Oh yeah, so you
What
caught
is the
that and I
reference?
didn't.
from Army of Darkness, you know, the wizard tells Ash he has to say the magic
Oh,
words.
and he forgets it.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Back to Verada. But
Is that how he
there's a
says the
bit where-
first two words so confidently?
Yeah,
And
he
then
doesn't do-
he's like, what?
Yeah, when some people come through and Dr. Robotnik basically fakes them out and tricks them, and he sits up and says the magic words in full, having got it right before beating them up. Yeah, and I was like, am I the only person in this cinema that's going to have got that reference looking
That
around?
is a weird reference to put in there. I think Jim Carrey was just riffing.
Might have been
Yeah.
a riff, yeah. It seemed like he was riffing a lot. I mean, I didn't even catch it, so I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking about Evil Dead as I sat there, because I've literally, in other things I've been watching, I have watched all of the first season of Ash vs Evil Dead now.
Oh,
Oh,
enjoy
very
it?
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good. It's just a lot of fun. It's quite a light watch. You'll go in, there'll be some crazy stuff that happens, there'll be some gory stuff that happens, there'll be some wacky things, there'll be some effects, and then we got to the end of it, and actually, like, quite a good guy. Like Lucy Lawless is in the first season.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's been quite funny. I'm going to go and watch the second and third season, although I am slightly dampened in my enthusiasm now, knowing that apparently now I've read online that the third season ends in a cliffhanger, even though they're not doing anymore. Just gives me the real life horrors of, like, maybe there should be a law brought in that every time you do a series, it has to be, you can have threads that you could pick up again, but legally speaking,
Yeah.
any end of a season could be the end of the show and it'd be okay.
Isn't it weird? Like, people for ages were like demanding another sequel to Evil Dead, and then when the TV show came out, which is essentially a sequel to Evil Dead, it didn't seem to get much love or fanfare at all.
I think it's
No.
down to the networks. Like, 'cause I'm watching it now that it's all on Netflix right now. I think it might have had because it's Star, isn't it? So I think it might have had a run on or be available on Disney Plus in some locations as well. But I know that it was not immediately accessible when it came out to us over here in the first place. I think a lot of these shows will live and die on how easily they are, and with the best will in the world, streaming services there are ones that most people have, and there are other ones, especially when it's really inconsistent with where it is. And it's why I haven't seen very much of Peacemaker yet, which I'm really excited to see. But it was, it had its full run in other countries before we could even get it here at all, without jumping through all the VPN hoops.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, I think the service that something's on really helps these things either live or die.
Yeah, I need to watch that as well. And I did see the first episode of Moon Knight as well.
I did as well, actually.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. What do you reckon?
I mean, yeah, I'm very interested in hearing more of the accent. I enjoy the accent. Oscar Isaac, I think he's magnetic, isn't he? And I think it was great. Really good that we got a look at the character right at the end of the first episode as well. Excited to see where it's going to go. Obviously, it's a very mysterious story and interesting to see how it unfolds. Marvel series set in London as well. Cool.
Yeah, it's weird that it's like the lowest rated Marvel TV show yet, right? I think it's better.
Is it the lowest rated? Is it the lowest rated? I guess that. Yeah.
It was like 80%, and like the others were like, 99% amazing, so good.
Is that critics that have seen all of it, or is that audience so far?
I think that's so far.
It's got plenty of time then, I think, because it's not a long series. Is it 5 parts, 6 parts?
Oh, okay.
Don't know.
Not sure. Not sure.
But I think it looks really. I mean, it seems very solid to me so far.
How do you rate the series so far of the ones that you've seen? Then ignore the Netflix ones, of the Disney Plus ones.
Oh, so you mean not Moon Knight, the other one? So what has it been? Falcon.
So
Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision,
and Hawkeye.
What If, Hawkeye.
Oh, What If has been my favorite, actually.
I think Loki's my favorite.
See, I liked Loki a fair bit. I thought like it had the best theme tune, and it had the best like visual identity and aesthetic. It was really, really nice and interesting. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to go a bit wilder or a bit weirder. But it's fun. It was fun.
What If is probably up there. I think I didn't catch it until it was all finished, but it was exceptional. It came together exceptionally well at the end. Hawkeye might be I think if I was to watch any of them again, it might be Hawkeye.
I've not seen
Hawkeye's
that
the only
one.
one I'm not finished Hawkeye.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a nice Christmas story. I think the cast's really good. It's got a little dog in it. It's great.
Yeah.
Very nice. There we go. Anything else anybody seen this week? Is that pretty much it?
Just
That's about
those,
it. Yeah.
just those Resident Evils, but we'll save that for our ranking then.
Yep,
It's a
yep,
story for
good
another
idea.
time.
I'll get started on that. So, apart from film of the week, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, obviously, the movie, obviously, not the TV show. So, in a recent episode, we discussed that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show, turned 25, and I think we decided, let's watch the movie because I don't think had any of us seen it.
I'd never seen it.
I had, but a
You'd seen
long time ago. I think it was like a late night Channel 4 special sponsored by Stella Artois,
Oh,
where the film is like super quiet and you're trying to watch it
Yeah.
with your mum asleep next door. And then the
Yeah.
Stella Artois advert bits was so loud. Do you
some
remember?
accordion
was-
music blasts you awake at 1 a.m.
It was
Yeah.
just you're trying to watch Eurotrash, weren't you? And it's Mum, no, Mum, don't come in. Oh, what's going on?
Luke Condor, if I come in here and John Paul Gaultier's on the telly again.
Do you want
He's
a
already on my
Stella or
telly.
something? Get down off the TV, Jean Paul. Get down. It's dangerous up there. So wait. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a 1992 American comedy horror film directed by Fran Rubel Kuzui and starring Kristy Swanson, Donald Sutherland, Paul Reubens, Rutger Hauer, Luke Perry, Hilary Swank, and then also, if you're eagle-eyed, you will see lots and lots of other famous faces, including Ricky Lake, Ben Affleck, Seth Green, Thomas Jane, apparently, just to mention just a few. So it's absolutely stacked with recognizable names and faces.
Yeah. The tagline for this is oh, go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say the plot is flighty. That's a weird word to describe anybody. Flighty teenage girl Buffy Summers learns that she is her generation's destined battler of vampires because of a mole or something.
Because of a mole.
Battler's a weird word as well. Why would you go to a battler?
You're a right battler.
You're a right flighty battler, Buffy. IMDb need to go back to the drawing board with this. What are they playing at?
Maybe they're
Well, she's a
trying
flighty
to,
battler, isn't she?
maybe they're trying to do the same thing as this movie and just really pull into the 90s lingo. In fact, as I went through, I made a little list of some of the great 90s terms as and when they came up, because I've never felt like I was in 1992 harder than I did watching this.
What's your damage?
No,
What's your damage? That was good.
Yeah, that's so. What's your damage? Things are described as heinous, lush. What's the sitch?
I say this stuff now. What are you talking
Someone's
about?
called a bonehead.
Hey, this meal's heinous. Hey, that looks lush. What's the sitch with this? Just Luke
Hey,
Condor's over here.
bonehead. These guys.
Don't have a cow, man.
Some guys are described as thrashed. Many people are asked what their damage is. Buffy describes an old man as skanky. So you're not a skanky old man, are you? Forget you. Her dream person that she's going to run away and marry is Christian Slater.
Forget you, Christian Slater. Oh wow!
Oh,
never have I seen a film before seem to make good and that's the end of that. Make successful big name actors look so naff,
so heinous,
so heinous.
Like, wait a minute, that's Donald Sutherland. Wait a minute, that's Rutger Hauer. What is going on? Paul Reubens has got. I mean, a funny looking bloke, yeah, but he's got no charisma in this.
Who would have known that with Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman normally dressed him as a vampire and he would become future Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, he's writing a bloody musical there, isn't he? I can see him jotting the. And also, like one thing about the TV show was that the vampires were genuinely like a bit scary, like when they looked all frowny and with their
Frowny
ears
eyebrows.
Here, they look like they've got cauliflower ears, like they've been playing
But
rugby
their
or,
heads.
or UFC, but their whole heads are cauliflower. And also, like
Cauliflower heads.
cauliflower heads. And I was just on the gore / blood is at 0.00, right? There's not a splash.
Pretty sure the stakes are like made of cardboard or chocolate.
People say
Like, we
what's
never
your
see him
damage?
go
Very
into
little. Very little damage, actually.
So so Joss Whedon wrote this and sold the script to to Dolly Parton's production company. And then at some point, and he was involved with the production for quite a bit. He like packaged it up for the film, and so then at some point he got really angry and left the production because he wasn't happy with the direction they were taking it in. He didn't have a good relationship with Donald Sutherland, who said, not in these words, but he said he's a massive prick. I think because Donald Sutherland was making up lines that didn't make sense with the lore of the story.
Buffy, you're a flighty battler. No, that's not in the script. That's not in the script. What? She's an aloof ass kicker. Ridiculous.
So Donald Sutherland heard that and basically said Joss Whedon is a heinous, heinous prick.
He's a heinous anus.
Joss Whedon wanted it to be scarier and darker, and he said they removed tons of his jokes and they're like ad-libbing everywhere, and it's like, we know what he's like now. He's a creative control freak to some extent. So then he made the TV show, which obviously became like a massive television sensation. And then the script, they did the TV show and ended. Then they started to do the comic books, which are like supposed to be a continuation of the story. They also did a prequel comic where they remade this film using Joss's original script, and they kind of remade it from scratch to as per his vision. And also the TV show is still a sort of sequel to this film, but more the script. When they talk about events of why Buffy's moved to a new high school, it's because she had to burn down her old high school, which doesn't happen in this film, but it did in the original script. So
she just burned down her head, burned down Rutger Hauer's head. Maybe that's what they meant. Got misunderstood. But I don't recognize Sarah Michelle Gellar's character of Buffy Summers in this character at all. It's almost like zero. Like I don't. There's 0% of that performance is into this. I don't even know if Buffy Summers is even that likable as a lead. I don't know.
She has a bit of a turn after she realizes she can do fighting, but she is aggressively. All of them are aggressively unlikable in the opening section, right?
Yeah, and throughout the film, to a degree, everyone was a bit, snarky, and
that's just the attitude of the.
It's just the attitude of the 90s.
If a man in a 90s attitude,
if a man in a trench coat and a hat just walks into your high school, which definitely happens, then you can be snarky to him and say, "Are you some kind of hobo? It's just quite nice."
Yeah,
you're kind of skanky old man that wants to tempt young girls into graveyards. Although, to be fair, Donald hasn't done himself many favors because he says, "I'm here to deliver your birthright. It's probably easier if I show you. Come with me to a graveyard immediately."
Wink.
No, Donald, it's easier if you explain it.
Yeah, I gotta show you. Got to show you, right? Got to show you.
Just tell me I'm a legendary battler of vampires, and then I'll know what it is.
I'm a flighty battler.
Something wrong with my screen or my video as I watched this. It was like playing. It felt like at 10% speed. Like it was the slowest action I've ever seen in any.
There was
film
a lot of slow. There was a lot of slow action, and also, like the Arkham Asylum type of fight sequences where everybody waits their turn. I've never seen anything more like that than this film. There was so much waiting of turns.
They were waiting for the turn so much. I think those people didn't realize they were even allowed to fight. They were kind of just holding back. Can we get involved? Oh,
Just sitting doing
I
their
don't know,
idle animation.
yeah, they look broke. Like when the
don't know,
game doesn't trigger into the fight action, the fight animation.
Just
Yeah.
running into like a side corridor.
My man. Yeah. Okay. So ratings of this film aren't stellar. Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it 36% and the audience gave it 43%. IMDb has it at 5.6 out of 10. Letterboxd is at 2.9 out of 5. Scion said, "Didn't know Ben Affleck was in this. Very frightening. Half a star." I like that. The scariest thing they found was Ben Affleck.
I didn't even notice him.
Very frightening. And then Ash said, "Cinematic masterpiece." Cinematic masterpiece. 5 stars.
5 stars. Is he being
Yeah.
sarcastic or is he literally? What's his damage? That's what I want to know.
What's his damage? Yeah. I think if you watch this film at double speed, it'd probably be great. I mean, it'd be over quicker. It would.
It's a tight
Yeah.
45 minutes.
How do you feel about watching things on double speed? Would you
I
ever?
used to never before watching this. Now I'm like, get him on double speed.
Get it on double speed immediately. What are we watching tonight? Double speed, please.
What
Put
you
it across
need
there.
is like, obviously Zack Snyder is known for his slow motion. Whoever is
Yeah.
the opposite director of Zack Snyder, that's who you need to do a cut of this movie.
Yeah.
Fast motion.
Zack Snyder.
Snack Zyder.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, there's got to be someone who's famous for really kinetic, over the top.
John Woo.
John Woo. I was thinking John Woo.
John Woo's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'd watch that.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
Incredibly 90s, almost like sickeningly 90s. You know what I mean? You look back at stuff in the 90s with this sort of like, you've got rose tinted glasses on, you're like, oh, it's lovely back then. It's nice. But then with this, it's just too much. You're like, no, I wouldn't want to venture into the 90s.
Yeah, I
If
think
everyone was like this.
I like that side of things. The
the
90s
easiest comparison,
nostalgia stuff.
like linguistics wise and everything, that it gave me kind of like Bill and Ted vibes from the beginning. But Bill and Ted, I think, is done with such. It's got quite a kind-heartedness to it. Like, even though they like slag each other off, and there are probably some things quite probo in today's world, but I never found them abrasive. Whereas the opening scene with these guys, there's a weird bit where they go through loads of cinema chains and take turns in slagging them off.
Oh yeah, and they do say, "Oh, we're not going there because they play trailers for foreign films."
They play trailers for foreign
muck.
films. The ushers at another cinema chain, the ushers at AMC are a right bunch of uggos.
Uggos. I mean, you don't go to a cinema chain for the attractiveness of the client of the staff.
You go to a
the
cinema chain to
clientele.
watch a movie
Yeah.
and to mistakenly also wish the usher that they enjoyed their film. Enjoy your film. Thanks, you too.
Yeah.
no.
No
Me
Dolby,
too.
No
Me
THX.
too. And then it cuts to him sat next to you. You have your arm rendered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No THX. Another one. That's why we wouldn't go. Another one. The popcorn smells like farts. One of those. Like all the like.
Oh.
That's why it's called
Dislike all of them.
Butterkist.
So what were we looking at cast wise? Kristy Swanson is Buffy Summers. I don't. What else has she been in? Because all I remember a few years ago, she had a bit of publicity because she was like, "I bloody
Full
love
on.
Donald. I love Donald
full on
Trump."
right way. She is in a film with Charlie Sheen in a car. It's called The Car or The Drive or something. I don't really remember it. She was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't
Pretty
think
in
she's done
Pink,
much
a little bit. She was in Dude, Where's My Car as Christy Boner.
as the car.
As the car, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Transformer. Luke Perry is Oliver Pike. Luke Perry, he looks like the kind of guy where I'm like, he's about 9 different actors rolled into one, right?
Yeah,
looks
he
like-
died last year, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Oh.
Yeah. So he
didn't know
during
that.
my Riverdale watching period, a darker time. So he plays Archie's dad, in it, and he just didn't return after one season. He had like some problems, but it is weird seeing because he has the exact same mannerisms and the exact same DNA, I imagine, as he did back in this film. But it's just so interesting to see like the two ends of his career, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like this, well, it's him as such a young guy, and it's like the same guy. Like he's so similar, such a kind of nice persona, I guess.
Yeah. Rutger Hauer is like the big bad Lothos. It reminded me a little bit of Vigo the Carpathian. Just
It's like Vigo through the lens of Donald Trump with his hair.
Donald Sutherland is Merrick Jameson Fife. So he's basically the role of oh god, can't think of his name. Anthony Head.
Yeah, he's Proto Giles.
Yeah. Paul Reubens is just like a vampire. Hilary Swank is just like one of the best friends who
one of the friends who
the cast is made up.
Absolutely mugs her off buying the jacket that she wanted.
Yeah. And there's loads of famous faces making up the rest of the cast. David Arquette as well as Benny Jacks.
It's Benny.
As old Benny.
You've missed, unfortunately, Ben. Just looking at Kristy Swanson's filmography, the big one that you want to have seen with her in it. She's in a Wes Craven movie before she was in this. So she'd already peaked. She's in one of my favorite Wes Craven movies, Deadly Friend.
Oh, Deadly Friend. I've definitely never seen that. But I am aware of it.
You want to watch Deadly Friend. It's when
this friend is bloody deadly.
What's it about?
Well, a young boy moves to a town. He's a science genius, and he meets a girlfriend. No, science genius.
Okay.
So not a religion science, scienceman. And he's good at robots, and he has a robot friend called BB. Mama Fratelli from the Goonies murders the robot friend, and Kirsty Swanson's abusive dad murders her. So he uses his powers to save them both and puts the robot brain in Kirsty Swanson's body, and then she takes a terrible revenge on everyone that wrongs them with her robot power, and she smashes an old woman's head with a basketball. It's great.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll have to watch that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Deadly Friend.
Deadly Friend, Wes Craven, 1986.
How deadly is
she's
this friend?
she's in The Phantom.
Oh, yeah. Is that with Billy Zane?
With Billy Zane.
Oh my god.
I like that film, actually. I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I liked it.
I honestly don't think I've seen it since it was released. I think I watched it on Front Row.
Front Row of the cinemas on opening night.
Do you remember Front Row? It was like a cable channel. And you used to have to, it was one of those ones where you had to pay to obviously get the film.
Put it on pay-per-view. Very nice.
Like pay-per-view. And it used to show the trailers like all day, every day. That was pretty much it. Yes, so that's it cast-wise. So where does it kick off? We're just introduced to everybody in the high school, these characters.
But before we get a full musical number, we get a quick brief interlude into the past.
Yeah.
90s representations of medieval times are basically what you get if you go to a fancy dress shop now.
Yeah, what the hell's going? No one wore a hat like that back in the day, did they? Like when it was tall peak with the little. Oh, it's ridiculous.
With like a little hanky coming off the top.
But the thing is, I thought it was like a bit tongue in cheek, like a bit silly. But then after a while, I was a bit like, "Is it?"
You're taking this seriously.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was trying to be. Yeah.
We do that, and then we get an entire uninterrupted cheerleading scene, which the crowd
goes on for so long. Yeah.
It's about the first 4 minutes of the movie.
So it's something about chicken. How do you like your chicken? Funky, cooked or sizzly? I don't know what they're singing about.
I don't know why they sing the song about chickens, because the basketball team is called the Hogs. That's pigs.
All right, here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
It says, "How funky is your chicken? How loose is your goose?
Oh yeah.
Our goose
Pretty
is
loose.
totally loose.
Shake
So
your
come on,
caboose.
all you hog fans, shake your caboose, shake your caboose. How loose is your goose? Our goose is totally loose because here, doctor. Jesus.
Yeah.
Do some
pelvic floor exercises.
do some pelvic floor exercises. It was just yeah, I don't know. I went into it. It was a bit cringe, wasn't it?
I think that might be the second load of the chant though. The first one we just get backtracked with with some of the 90s finest rap music. Definitely there is a quote on there that the singer in this particular piece is struggling to maintain his composure. Yeah.
It's a licky bum bum down song. Licky
Yeah, it might be
bum bum
Snow.
down. Da, 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 da. Licky bum bum down.
Yeah, so they're singing Informer by Snow, and everyone in the crowd is
That's it.
literally Hilary Swank's there, like she's dancing away, and then she scoffs at just this man who looks like he might sit down next to a classic, like, you know, archetypical, like, mean girl, like, you're gonna sit next to me in that empty seat, you absolute piece of shit, fuck off.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, all right, I'm off.
Oh bloody hell. All
And
right, sorry.
and then the coach of the basketball team, he's a character, he's one of those lefty liberal types. And he's like, everyone just, you know.
Oh, it's just a guy who's like,
Everybody just enjoy the game, okay? And remember, it's taking part that counts, okay? Okay,
Yeah.
right, that's it.
he
What does
gets
he
more
say?
ridiculous throughout, though, doesn't he?
Say
His,
to yourself
like,
that I
clipboard,
deserve the ball.
Oh yeah, that
clipboard's
was
like
it. Yeah.
his clipboard with the plays like upside down at one point or something. And he's like, "You're that duck, I'm this duck." And then later on his clipboard, he's got like the ancient Egyptian all-seeing eyeball on there, and like
Yeah, Illuminati confirmed.
yeah, like all
Bloody
these
hell.
kind of crazy symbols and
He's
everything.
ahead of his time,
Yeah,
or behind. On the times.
actualize yourselves. I think he shouts at one point.
Yeah.
He says, what does he say? You deserve the ball. The ball is for sharing. Let's all have a go on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
he
go out
there's
there,
the
and if you truly
principal.
believe in yourself, you'll have a good time.
There's the principal who is the guy. I always think of him as the L for
Yeah.
Love guy from Dodgeball.
Yeah, is that dude? What's his name? Is
I know
it?
his name.
Oh, Jesus, what is his name? Stephen Root. Stephen Root. Yeah, so he's in Office Space.
Yeah.
Yeah, loads of stuff. Dodgeball, obviously, is one of the major ones, but he's just got. He has always looked about the same age. This is
Yeah.
the first time I've seen him in anything where he looks like younger, and he
How
loves
old do you think he is here?
attention slips.
I bet he's younger,
Oh.
about our age now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like mid 30s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's maybe older. He was born in 1951.
Whoa. So
Oh.
yeah, like
Oh, well,
wow.
40.
Wow.
40.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Interesting.
Yeah, I like his scene a bit later on where he gives me vibes of like early Homer Simpson voice, where it's like, you know, when I was your age, I pulled a couple of boners, and he's going around.
So yeah, we're
That-
introduced to everybody. So Buffy's got a boyfriend at this point as well, hasn't she? A
Oh,
boyfriend, and then
And a
he's got like
friend.
a friend
Yeah.
who's like kind of in love with her, and he's like,
Well, can I have a go there for a night?
or something. He says something
At one
stupid
point,
like that.
he's like squeezing her butt cheeks with his eyeballs, like they're
Oh,
popping
when
out of his
she-
head. And he's
when she leans into the car to like kiss
Yeah.
her boyfriend, and he like becomes a cartoon wolf,
He goes,
yeah.
and then is like air caressing her bum, and
Yeah. That's a strange friend.
in many ways, the
Yeah, you'd be like,
vampire is
"You're
not
right,
the
mate."
true villains of this piece.
Yeah, very
Giving her
strange.
an
very
ocular
strange relationship.
squeeze.
And it gets strange. Like when she starts falling out with her boyfriend, he's always like there, and he's got something to say all the time, and it's just very strange. Bit too
Quite
much.
enjoy the bit where she beats fuck out of him with a slow motion judo at school.
Oh, yeah,
Very special
really good at-
style
she's
of
really good
judo.
yeah. And she's really good at gymnastics. She can do a load of flips, and just fighting just comes naturally to her.
Like the slow motion flips. Like her cartwheels, a single cartwheel takes her at least 5 minutes.
But the good thing is that it's made to appear that it's faster because when she's doing flips, it plays like noises.
Power
She does that
Ranger.
herself with her mouth.
Power Rangers whoosh noises.
Maybe
Swoosh.
that's it. Like, maybe that's why you found it slow because you're used to the frenetic energy that you get from a Power Rangers episode.
That's true.
Yeah, there wasn't enough zooms or camera cuts or anything. I don't know. To me, so this director, I might be wrong, but it doesn't look like they've done much else. What's her name again?
No, I don't think the director has done much else. I think I saw Fran.
Don't. Yeah, okay, yeah. I got the feeling that they didn't really know about movies. Like,
Which one of these talkies?
all the ingredients
other
are there
thing-
for this movie to be quite good, and yet they seem to like do their very level best to make it really painful to watch.
The only other thing that Fran Rubel Kuzui has made is a movie called Tokyo Pop in 1998. A young female rock singer goes to Japan to try success. So, I mean, yeah, she's
But
obviously.
she is a producer on Orgasmo though.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Oh my god, that is Orgasmo and Telling Lies in America. That
It's the
film
worst
with
place to tell him.
Kevin Bacon. Don't tell lies in America. Anywhere else. Yeah. So after we introduce everybody, everybody's like at the mall, talking about
It's
what
like
they're
an
going
off
to do for the day.
cinemas.
It's like an off
Doing
cinemas,
the,
and they
doing the 90s catchphrases.
and then Donald Sutherland's character Merrick. He's not very subtle. He tries to get into the lift with them, and she goes,
Oh, yeah.
rude much,"
And then proceeds to be really rude. She was,
and then proceeds to be really rude. And they
Yeah.
go, "Who's the hobo? Oh my god, you look like you look like shit." And it's like, he looks all right. He's got a hat and a coat on. Don't call him a hobo. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Donald Sutherland, I love him as an actor, but just not convincing in this as somebody. Yeah, it's just very strange.
Yeah.
So he's obviously got some information for her, but rather than just giving it to her in black and white, this is it. He's all smoke and mirrors.
just
and
tries
trying
to get in a lift there and thinks, oh well, I'll try again at another inappropriate time later.
I'll just go to I'll just go to a school. Why not? I'll just go to a school. That's completely normal and acceptable. I'll do it.
Before he does that though, we get to see, is this the bit where they have they all go off in the separate ways, they meet the boyfriends briefly and the guy eye squeezes her bum, and then one of the guys just chooses to walk home and gets got by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Well,
Yeah.
they're in the cinema, aren't they? So it's David Arquette and his mate Luke Perry are in the cinema, genuinely trying to enjoy the film. But Buffy and her friends are being noisy, and they're like, "We paid good money to see this."
Yeah,
and they're
hang
just
on.
like, "We're
If
just
you-
having
if
a
you-
chat."
They lean forward and like, excuse me, ladies, it's us that are trying to talk obnoxiously through this movie, and you're really killing my buzz on
Yeah.
this. You talking through it is putting me off shouting that it's the Loch Ness Monster. So
And then they like go to a bar afterwards, and they're there as well.
They're like constantly drinking from a single hit flask, the never-ending hit flask.
Never ending hip flask. Yeah,
the never-ending hit
It's
flask, and
bottomless, mate.
they've only got exactly enough money in their pockets for either 2 coffees or 1 hot dog.
Oh yeah, and they have a
I'm
hot
pretty
dog.
sure they have
and
a hot
he
dog. yeah.
has Luke Perry has the bun, and David Arquette has the sausage, and Buffy.
Is that a fair trade, or should they not just split it?
I mean, that would be the obvious way
The
to do
obvious
it.
thing to do.
I don't know. I don't know if I want either of those things on its own. Actually, if you're going to choose one thing, you probably choose the bun would be more substantial. I think if you're
But I don't know, with the fats and the sausage, I feel like that. Like a pepperami, I never eat a pepperami and go, oh, that could have done with a bit of bread around the sides. I always think it's like he's exactly the right bit.
you eat the little plastic skin as well, don't you?
Oh, well, sometimes I put it in my gob and give it a suck. Yeah.
But sometimes if you have a bread,
Condom.
you can enjoy both things individually. If you had a bread, you wouldn't think, oh, that could have done with some sausage in there.
A bread.
No, I always think that if I have a bread or two, I'm always thinking that could have done with a bit of meat in there.
Could have done with a sausage.
Yeah, most
Well,
things
what's
I think
on the
that
lips?
could have done with a sausage.
It
Nearly
was
everything.
a different time though.
Yeah,
1992,
true.
people didn't have the same understanding of
Sausages.
what foods go together that we do now, like 30 years on.
No
Then again,
idea.
I mean, Buffy does cut the sausage into like exact two, so they could have just traded it or like split it
What
in
does
two
she-
there.
How does she cut the sausage? Because I know that she does it because David Arquette,
Pretends it's his
cheeky
Willy.
fella that he is, pretends it's his Willy, and she is she carrying a switchblade? Does she have a
it's
knife
like
with her?
it's like a dinner butter knife, I think, just on the side. I remember being weird because I thought there's no way that would have cut that cleanly through a sausage. It would have bounced it.
You're like, hang on a minute, pause this film. This is
Put
not
it down.
believable. Vampires. That
Vampires I was on
sausage.
board with, but that sausage. And how has she even got a knife? Have they ordered food? What's going on?
It's on the table, isn't it? It's just like a little.
Just knives
is
for
it-
just in case.
Just
I don't know, I
knives. They
guess
put them.
so.
In, they used to put them in bars in the 90s. They should still put them in bars. Just in case.
Yeah,
In case you need
Never
to
know when
chop
you need
someone's sausage because you're sharing it.
Slice
yeah.
it.
Um,
Yeah, and that's when they walk home, the two drunk dudes, and Luke Perry, his character, Oliver Pike, decides, I'll have a sleep here on the lovely asphalt. Very, very comfortable. And that is when Paul Rubens' vampire dude turns up. Like, these
Human.
vampires are so non-threatening, aren't they?
yeah,
Like,
he just comes
there's
up
not a
behind you,
mo-
like goes,
yeah.
it's like,
So-
all right, mate.
Merrick even sees them take away David Arquette, and he doesn't even. It's not bothered at all. He goes, "Oh no, oh,
bloody
I've
hell.
missed that one. Well,
well, we've got
Not
this one."
again.
And he saves Pike. He puts them in the car and drives them home. But yeah, he's not bothered about Pee Wee Human and David Arquette.
Yeah. So David Arquette just gets taken off, doesn't he? So what is Donald Sutherland doing? Is he just literally wandering around being
A watcher.
Like,
I think that's their name, isn't
watcher.
it? Oh,
I am just watching.
Yeah, but he doesn't just watch. He gets involved.
he's meant to train the Buffy the Vampire Slayers, and he apparently has been doing it for generations. But unless I missed some deep set nuance in here, we don't explain why he's been around all these years. He just is.
So he said he lives 100 lifetimes. So he's lived lives and died, and then at some point he remembers his past lives and goes, "Oh, I'm
okay.
supposed to be training a vampire battler."
He gets to a
But-
certain age and he goes, "Fuck! Oh no!
Well, pretty much. So
Better
in
find
this,
someone with a hairy mole."
It's his version of the bins. He's like,
Enrique Iglesias.
what?
I think you're the vampire slayer.
yeah,
Can
yeah.
be your hero, baby.
Checks out.
I will stab you in the heart with a stake.
So this time, he's like, I accidentally started really late with Buffy. She should have been trained from a kid, but he couldn't find her, or he couldn't find the one.
You know,
The whole thing of the chosen one is a bit lame. Even back in the 90s, I think you could have called it something else other than the chosen one. That's too obvious.
Yeah. And the only way to identify her is that she has a mole. And that's it. It's just not.
But she had them all removed, so maybe that's what took her ages to find.
Oh,
you know, maybe
Jesus
that,
Christ.
that
He
dampened the
found
signal.
he found the mole ages ago. Just couldn't find Buffy. Just found it in some medical waste bin.
Yeah. A lot of
He's
red
close.
tape
You
to
the
get
Slayer?
through. Excuse me, can you tell me if this was taken off? It's no,
I'll
it's
tell you.
1992, mate. All paper records. Go through those boxes if you like, and it's
Shit.
No, he's
Have to
like
find some-
trying to find Cinderella with a glass slipper, putting it on the gap on her chest. Is this the owner of the mole?
Yeah. Luckily, only one person in the whole town had that size foot. It's not believable, is it? Bloody fairy
8.5,
tales. 8.5.
12.5. Bloody massive feet.
bloody mad, bloody shit. Netball player.
that would be a lot of glass going that
A big
stuff.
old, it's a big old plate of meat, that is. Yeah, so she basically says, "Nah, I'm not the chosen one. I'm nothing to do with this." I think he mentions, "Oh, you're good at gymnastics and stuff. Yeah, you must be." And then he
Oh,
says,
go on.
"Have you been having a recurring dream where like you're someone from the past and you got a stupid hat on and you're killing vampires and stuff?" And she's like, "Oh, how'd you know that?" And then
That's
so-
convinced me. I will come to the graveyard.
That's
with you.
convinced me. Yeah.
No funny
Um,
business though.
And now she's got a few different. She's more agile. Doesn't she like punch somebody at some point? She goes, "Oh, I've never punched anyone before."
She
It just came to
punches
naturally.
him.
Bang.
She
Oh yeah, she punches him in the
minute.
face.
But
If she
before
sends him
that,
flying.
they go to the graveyard to hear about her destiny, and one of their friends at school has died, and he's like, "Oh, he's buried here." It's like, "Oh, okay." And then he.
How do
pops
they
up
say
out the
that he
grave.
died? They say like tissue.
I was on the
damage or
news.
something.
Said, "Oh, he had like." It's like he had a big bite to the neck.
He had a big bite to the neck, 2 perfect puncture wounds on the neck.
But the police
there's
thought
no-
it better not to ask any questions and let everyone
they
get
just
on with
wrote
their
down-
lives.
tissue damage, neck equals ow, dead, drained. But yeah, as we're mentioning, there's 0 blood, 0 gore. Like it's really, it's almost like a vampire TV show that you'd watch on daytime kids television or something. Not quite as bad as
Yeah.
that, but almost those sort of levels.
Three
When they,
ninjas level of violence.
there's like
Fighting
this,
slightly better.
the staking is like disappointing. It's like no, like if you're gonna stake a vampire on a TV show, it's got to feel like it's going through the ribcage into the heart.
Yeah.
This just feels like it's brushing off, like it's.
Well, this
like,
is the thing is
made-
really lacking is vampires turning into skeletons and then dust.
Oh yeah, what happens
it's-
to these ones? They don't do anything.
They don't
They
do
just-
anything. No, they
In fact,
collapse.
when
they get to
Pee-wee
die,
Hu-
sometimes
Pee-wee Herman
incredibly
gets it,
slowly, yeah.
He's like, I don't know what he's doing.
Alive. He's like alive. He's like going, ow, my chest. Oh, bloody hell. No, don't worry like that. Reminds me in a way a bit of like, obviously, remember Michael Morbius in the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon, Hand Suckers?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that where they kind of avoid all.
Quite like
All
sanitized.
violence.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah, they just kind of stick it in them, and this is what happens here. So 2 vampires pop up out of the graves, start beating up Donald Sutherland, and Buffy stakes him up.
Yeah, and it's almost like, did he say it was like a test or something? There was one bit where he's making notes, right?
Yeah, so this is the next bit. So he does that, and she says, "Right, you've got to basically." He gives her a lift home, and says, "Right, keep this a secret because they can't know you're the vampire slayer, otherwise they'll come a knocking at your house." Meanwhile, Pike is at his house, and Benny, David Arquette, is around there. He goes, "Oh," and he doesn't try and disguise it. He goes, "Oh, invite us in, Pike. It's me, Benny, clearly a vampire." He's like hovering
Very,
outside the window with big teeth.
Very Salem's Lot, isn't it? That hovering out the window and tapping
'Cause
on
he
the
does-
window.
Because he doesn't quite realize, does he, that that's what's happening. He's kind of like, Benny, what the hell are you doing? And then he realizes, he goes, oh shit, you're floating.
What are you on?
What do you want, man? You must be on crack or something.
Yeah.
Good
Motherfucker.
90s drug.
David Arquette makes a good vampire, I think. A good kind of
Yeah.
creepy, slobby vampire. He's good
Yeah,
at that.
with cauliflower ears.
Cauliflower. Yeah, it's weird.
Live.
They went for this was like the prototype for the TV show. They just started with like the ears have just got a couple of dimples in the sides. I thought it looked
Yeah, I
kinda
mean, like
good.
the furrowed brow is like kind of iconic. Whenever I see that recreated in anything, I'm always like, they just look like Buffy the Vampire Slayer vampires.
Yeah.
So the fact it hasn't got that, I think that's kind of one of the things that makes the vampires so they're just not threatening at all, like in any way. Like if all those vampires surrounded you and did Arkham Asylum fight on you, what would they do
Yeah.
to you? I feel like they'd like just pin you down and tickle you.
As long as you press the Y button
Yeah.
at the right time, when that little counter thing has come up, then you
Oh yeah,
slowly judo them all over. Do that little
until
judo flip where you get
until
their
one of
arm.
them's got an undodgeable attack, and then you're screwed. You got to like
You
dive
got to
out of the
dodge
way.
for that.
Yeah.
You
I haven't
can't-
got- I
it's
haven't got a cape.
unblockable.
I haven't got a cape.
Quick batarang.
I'm just looking
Um,
at some now. They kind of look like what's the that Stephen King film with like the cat people.
Sleepwalkers.
They kind of look like sleepwalker people.
Yeah, I could see that. Like a bit sleepwalkery.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not great, unfortunately. It's a little
he
bit
does-
lame. It's a little bit toothless, you could say.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't
so
let him
yeah.
in, and then the next day at school, Buffy hasn't gone to meet Donald Sutherland, so he comes and finds her, and he goes, "What are you doing in the changing rooms, Donald Sutherland? I told you I wasn't going to come and meet you." And he just goes like pop quiz hot shot, lozes a knife at her head, but she catches it.
Oh yeah. She's like, you could have killed me, but you didn't. But
And then
but
she
you
punches
caught
him
it.
in the face.
Yeah, that's fair enough then.
And he goes, "Oh, you're wicked at punches."
I
And she
think
goes,
you're
"Oh,
bloody.
am I?
the
In
chosen
that
one or
case, I'll
something.
train."
I'd like to see the many girls who weren't actually the Slayer who didn't catch you. Whoops. Oh well. One closer to
Yeah.
finding the real one.
There's a guy going around walking into women's locker rooms in high schools, throwing knives at people and killing them. I'm
Yeah.
looking for the chosen one.
I'll
Come
tell you.
on.
Tell
This
you
is
what,
like
then.
Mr. Glass trying to find a superhero by
Oh, yeah.
killing thousands of people on trains and stuff.
This is political correctness gone mad. In 1992, you could do that. These days, tell you what, these days, go
Health
into
and safety, innit?
go into a women's locker room and throw a knife in someone's face, you'll be cancelled.
You can't even get into a women's locker room these days. Trust me, I've tried. It's a silly joke, sorry. Stop right there. No, let me in.
Oh, I see. Keeping me out, are you?
Oh, so you keep me out. Oh, PC gone mad. I can't go anywhere these
I'm
days.
not a
can I?
perv. I'm going in there to throw this knife at a woman's face.
Yeah, I'm looking for the chosen one.
Carry on,
The-
sir.
Carry on. Well, the stakes are high. Oh, the world's at stake. Come on. Doesn't a girl get abducted as well by Paul
It's
Reubens?
it's one of their kind of like loosely associated group of friends that have been and it's all about that jacket, because an April O'Neil jacket that Buffy was gonna buy, Hilary Swank was like, no, that's a rubbish jacket, don't get that. And then she buys it, and then she lends it to this other girl, only
Can
for her
you
to
imagine?
get kidnapped or got by
There's
vampires.
too many layers of like, oh, I want to buy the jacket. No, I'm going to buy it and then lend it to someone. Like, it's too.
There are
too,
characters that are in this jacket in this movie less than this jacket.
Yeah.
This jacket's in it more than Ben Affleck.
Yeah, the jacket has more scenes than Ben Affleck. Genuinely,
Did you see Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Yeah, that jacket. Ben Affleck was in it as well. Don't
Was
care.
he?
because
Yeah.
that girl that gets kidnapped is in. She's wearing the jacket still when Pee Wee Herman takes her to the boss's house, his secret base.
Yeah. So he
Oh.
basically sacrifices her to him to like, so he's like sleeping or not fully awake or at strength, is he? And yeah.
He's
Again,
a weird character, isn't he? The Lophos guy.
yeah, I don't understand what is crack.
What's his deal? What's his damage?
his-
Is what I want to know.
Yeah,
What's his
what is
damage?
his
What does he
damage?
want? But again, when there's like a ancient in the TV show, when there's like an ancient vampire that's been around for hundreds of years or something, and it is being reawakened, there's always that sense of threat, and this is a big deal. With this guy, again, just looks like someone in a Halloween costume.
I
And it's
liked it as
Rutger
Rutger Hauer. Yeah, that's
It's Rutger Hauer, like 6 years. No, wait, when was Blade Runner? 82. So 10 years after Blade Runner, and there's, do you know what I mean? He's usually got so much presence,
and then
an iconic
10 years
performance
on-
with so much presence, and then there's this.
10
where you're
years
like,
on,
oh,
you see him
it might have been
literally
like
on
the
visible
hair
strings.
or the strings. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah,
right.
he lowers
Right
down.
there. Yeah.
he lowers down. He's literally, his cape is opened like a
Has he got a
classic sort of
moustache?
Dracula.
He's got a mustache, but the color of his mustache hair is the same color as his skin. So it just looks like
Like
It's
Caesar
like, have you even got a
Romero was the
moustache
Joker.
Oh yeah, when he painted. Yeah, ridiculous.
So yeah,
Oh,
he comes
dear.
lowered down on strings and gets the girl, then takes a cat off for a snack that he's gonna need as a little rest.
yeah.
And then, yeah, so I
Buffy's been
think
training.
Buffy's friends and everything.
Oh,
like,
training
she-
montage.
she'd been. Oh, is it a training montage? Oh yeah, okay. So this is when. This is strange because first of all, why is Merrick involved in this training montage, but he doesn't even take his hat off or his jacket? It's just,
He's not
he's one of
doing
those
the
guys
training.
who he walks into your house, and he keeps his coat, jacket, and shoes on. Coat and jacket and hat and shoes on. And you're like, just relax.
He has to be ready. He has to be ready constantly with a knife, just in case he finds someone who might be a chosen one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of flipping. There's Buffy's beating up a punching bag, and then she kicks it, and then looks away, and then the punching bag hits her in the back, and she's like, "Oh God, who was that?" Oh, it's great.
Yeah. There's some tires that she steps
Hops
on,
through the tires.
hops through, and then goes ha with the stake.
It looks like a training montage, but actually, it was only over the course of 4 or 5 minutes, and that was it.
Yeah,
That's all the training
it
she
looked
did.
like it. Yeah.
And
Well,
she went
she's
on
proven
fucking
with that knife
television.
catch, she's a natural.
Yeah,
She's got a
it
natural
relied on it a
affinity
bit too
for
much.
Vampire Slayer, and she can ha with the best of them with that stake. And then
Merritt
she
does.
goes
He
out-
trips her up at one point, doesn't he?
He does. He sweeps the leg.
Sweeps
But,
the other leg.
She goes out and then does like a little sting operation. She basically goes outside wearing a hat, so she's undercover. She's wearing the same hat as Luke actually today.
Is she?
Yeah, she goes out wearing a hat a bit like yours, goes into an alley and goes, "Oh, I'm quite vulnerable out here." And then a vampire comes to get her, and she goes, "Ha, sucker!"
Oh, yeah.
Stabs him. Says,
And then
"Yeah,
Merrick
two-
says she did a bad job because
that's an alley."
that's an alley, and there might be more of them at some point. He said, like, vampire. It's a big point. One vampire is dead easy to kill. Anyone can. There's not stop showing off. Anyone can do one vampire, but if you go up against a bunch of them, you better hope they get stuck in their idle animation state, because otherwise they get you at once.
They will get you. They'll get you good.
It's a bit like, if you watch like Mock the Week or something like that, and it's that bit where they go to the middle and do the bit on the microphone, and then when it's someone's turn, a few of them go and they go, "No.
Oh,
Like
sorry,
that
I was
for
gonna,
vampire attack.
kill her. No, you go first. It's all right. Well, I haven't really got anything ready to go, so you go first. Okay.
And then there's one, the most polite, that's like, he's been ready all this time. His attack is fully charged. It's like his fist is glowing, but he's like,
Oh,
never,
bloody hell, wasted it.
never gets to go.
What happens after this?
Pee Wee Herman
'cause-
attacks Pike's van.
Yeah. How
Oh,
did
yeah.
Pike and Buffy end up sort of in an entanglement?
Well,
So
we like to
Pike
quote?
was leaving, so he was like, because Benny had scared him, so he was like, "I'm going to get out of town."
Yeah.
At some point, whilst he was leaving, we don't see what happens here. Pee Wee Herman turns up with some goons and he's trying to get Pike. He sticks his arm through the door, and like Pike drives under a tree, and that takes Pee Wee Herman's arm off.
Nice.
and
But
then
again,
Pike
with
just accepts that he's
0% gore.
Then Pike just accepts that he's crashing his van. So like basically he's knocked
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman off the top of it and his arms come off.
I thought
Throws Pee Wee Herman's arm away, and then he just sees he's driving towards a tree, but then just goes,
Yeah, suppose so.
I thought it was him that went through the windscreen, but it was his
So
guitar.
did I. Yeah, I thought he'd gone through the windscreen, but it wasn't. You're right. But then the vampires come up and they start thumping him. And then vampires, they always go straight for the neck, but very slowly. So they thump you a bit, do the judo, do the judo toss over.
Oh, I like that song.
do a nice
Do the
hip
judo
toss.
toss over.
Yeah. Hip toss.
Do the judo toss over.
Well, then slowly lean into Bite.
Do like,
Yeah, they're weird vampires, aren't they? They're kind of zombie-ish. Like they've got no I don't know,
Shit.
no agency, no immediacy.
They're not vampire. It's like
lazy
it's like
vampires.
it's like the vampires in this. No one's heard of what a vampire is. What's a vampire? Well, it's kind of like a zombie, isn't it? Bites you and stuff. And they go, oh, yeah, great. Any other rules we should know about? Nah, not really.
You'll need a leather jacket, possibly leather trousers.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And
I think
Yeah,
after
and-
that is when Buffy.
Buffy turns up and like kills them with
Rescues.
bits of his guitar.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. And that is when Buffy and Pike like kind of. 'Cause obviously they recognize each other from the banter, the never-ending banter they've had so far.
Couple of doses of bants already. Then
She's like,
invites
she
to
takes him
stop
home.
over.
She says, "Do you want some water?" And he goes, "No, I'm okay." And gets out his never-ending hip flask, squirts out
I'm okay.
some
I've
fresh
got loads in there. He gets out his
vodka.
never-ending hip flask and pours
Moonshine.
pours himself a pint. Yeah, that's what. I've plenty left. Do you want some? Not for another pint.
Well, I'm going to have a bath. Hang on.
To run a bath. To run a bath. Forget the tap. I've got a hip flask. Yeah, and I mean, their relationship becomes a bit romantic, like pretty much immediately. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, Buffy has got a boyfriend, and I guess we weren't supposed to think that anything was wrong with this relationship at this time, were we? It kind of like deteriorated off screen, didn't it?
Yeah, it deteriorates off screen because apparently, like, he goes, well, I've got needs as well, and you did. Because later, like, I think you might be the next scene. In fact, she goes to school the next day. Her boyfriend's creepy mate. Not that they're not both creepy. Her boyfriend's creepy mate squeezes her bum. He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to need some of this," and she does the judo hip toss on him.
Oh, you're not paying your actual boyfriend attention. I'm going to slip straight in there and go straight for the bum. Absolute creep.
She flips him over, and he goes, "Oh, soz." He's a bit spooked. And then
it's almost like her and her boyfriend haven't seen each other for like 2 days, and already he's going, we've drifted apart. All right, we're drifting apart.
Yeah. I
so
mean, I don't understand the time scale in this film. Has she been slaying vampires for a little while?
She says at one point when her friends are falling out with her, she goes, "Oh, I've been for the last couple of weeks. This thing has been happening." When her friends are pissy at her that she's not focused enough on the big dance.
Yeah.
The big dance, which is the last dance they're going to be able to attend. Oh, no, except for the summer social or something. Oh, no, wait. And then the end of year dance and then the prom. So, yeah, it does kind of throw a... Oh, we completely forgot to mention. I don't know why I've just thought of this, but back at the bar scene right at the start, Ricky Lake was the waitress.
Was that where Ricky Lake got? Is it Ricky Lake that told those skanky boys that
you can have a hot dog,
or 2 coffees?
Yeah, and then she went, "I'll do a bloody chat show like this one day. Get her away." About alcoholics with no money.
Plenty of hot dogs.
Plenty of hot dogs. Yeah, but another reason I don't understand the time of this is that there's a basketball game, and I thought the basketball game was in the middle of the day. But there's a vampire knocking about.
He just turns up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
How loose is his goose, you might ask?
Very loose.
Really good.
Way loose.
Way loose, that's it. It's the loosest goose you've ever did see.
Around the house.
Yeah, so there's a random vampire dude just taking part in the basketball game, and are people scared of him? People are scared.
The thing is, right, that Ben Affleck's certainly scared of him.
Oh, yeah, he's like crying. Yeah.
Oh no.
It is weird. It's like Teen Wolf, but like a bad version.
Of course, there's nothing in the rules. It's a complete Airbud situation. There's nothing in the rules that says a vampire can't play.
Yeah.
But everyone seems more outraged. So the vampire's there. Everyone's kind of muttering about it, like, "Oh, is it okay that a vampire is here?" And like he's not passing to the other boys.
That's one thing about vampires, is that they hog the ball. Bastards.
But everyone is far more outraged when the vampire stuff kicks off and Buffy goes to attack him. You audibly, some of the crowd goes, "Hey, there's a girl on the pitch."
Vampires, fine. Children, also fine. Girl on a pitch? Not in my name. Not in my name. Get her off the pitch. There's a vampire trying to kill people. I don't care.
The vampire runs off. Buffy chases after him. She has another unpleasant interaction with a man outside. He goes, "Hey, do you like some real power between your legs?" He has a motorcycle, you see. He's not being a perv. He's asking that teenage schoolgirl if she would like to go on his motorcycle.
It's like a dubbed line as well. It's really awkward. Like it's a dubbed line.
Yeah, the actor probably never said it. Someone's like, "We're going to make you look a horrible sexist." And then as she then steals his bike, he goes,
"He's a lovely, well-to-do, respectful man." And he said, "I will always appear like that in my performances." And then he goes, "Good day to you." But they overdub. "How'd you like some real power between your legs, you bitch?"
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, how old do you think Buffy's supposed to be in this?
She's still at school, so she hasn't graduated yet. So 17, maybe?
Yeah. And unless that's a really old-looking high schooler on that motorbike.
Well, a Grease high schooler.
just hanging out outside the spa. And And yeah, maybe Ben, like you say, maybe the actor when he delivered them, maybe it's one of these things that Joss Whedon was annoyed about the edits. Maybe the actor said, "Oh, excuse me, dear lady, chasing a vampire at all? Could I offer you assistance? Not that I would assume that you need any. Of course, I'm sure you're perfectly capable." And then he went, "Hey, you!" And then calls her a dyke for stealing his bicycle instead. She chases the vampire.
I thought he said bike.
Does he call her? Does he say that? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's called a
Oh,
dyke. Yeah,
bloody hell!
He's
Luminek.
bicycle.
Yeah, and then she chases the vampire all the way back to their secret base, the junkyard fairground.
Well,
Jesus
Pike
Christ.
also joins in. He's got a motorbike as well.
No,
Motorbike.
Motorbike, motor Pike, and motor dyke.
the two amigos. I love it when Buffy gets to the junkyard fairground and just whizzes the bike into like a pile of debris.
Yeah. What is this fairground thing? It's like a really creepy.
I'd be like, if I'm an all-powerful vampire person, Lord, I don't know, I just get a better place to hold up. Jesus, humiliating.
Maybe that was a brilliant place when he went to sleep, though.
I see. I didn't know. It was just
Yeah, he couldn't account for
What in his like
economic decline.
laser? He's got like a laser coffin. It's like pure red light or something.
Pure red light. And when he's first being
Like a disco.
regenerated, and
It's not very
Pee Wee Herman's
restful in there.
Pee Wee Herman's like, "You'll be laced in rubies," and he puts his hand out like that money box that you put a penny on, a little skeleton hand comes and takes it. He's like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah.
Like a little tanning bed. I'm surprised it doesn't come out like cooked and brown.
He is quite a tan, isn't he? When he
Yeah,
comes
he's got
out
a bit
of
of tan
Rutger.
going on.
But this is his base, so they turn up and they're fighting the baddies, and the big boss man is just there, and Buffy gets kind of paralyzed or vampire magicked because there is some kind of connection between them. Because she's had a few dreams about him putting a ribbon on her, little red ribbon on her, and getting her. So she's kind of put in a trance, and it turns out that Proto Giles is in on it.
Yeah. So
What's
it's like
the deal here?
So Merrick like intervenes, breaks the trance, and then Lothos stabs Merrick, like with the stake again with zero blood, and then leaves saying, "Buffy, you're not ready for this." But I don't know if Merrick's in on it, but he tells Buffy, I don't know, he's not in on it, is he?
Because he says, "Well, Merrick, you've delivered her to me," and then he sort of seems to be going along with it, but then he goes like, "No," and dives in the way and takes the stabbing.
It's a weird thing. I wasn't entirely sure. I thought that, but then she was still like, "Oh no, don't die!" And also, he's been stabbed directly in the heart. It pretty much instant death. But he's just like, "I'll just sit down here and slowly pass away, and I'll give you one final clue." What does he say? Remember about the music.
It also says like do your own thing as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
remember about the music, but do your own thing anyway. Don't ignore
starts
everything I've ever told you.
He starts laying off Instagram inspiring quotes.
Yeah.
Hey, don't let anybody tell you what to do. You gotta dance to your own beat.
Yeah, he's thrown out as much advice as he can. He's like, before he except have to see, and then he passes away, and then he comes back. Unless it sounds like like neighbor or way.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got
Confusing.
it. Thanks, Merrick.
The English language is quite confusing actually, so you know.
Yeah, please do try. And it's like,
Don't eat yellow snow unless you've bought like a snow cone and the flavors lemon. Yeah, and then do eat yellow snow and enjoy it. Any other time might be piss. So
and then he passes away. Gets up there again. Always buy your shoes in the afternoon.
yeah, never go shopping on an empty stomach. That's a good one.
Why always buy your shoes in the afternoon? Is it because your feet grow?
Also,
Because
don't put shoes on the table.
It's bad luck.
Wow, everyone knows that.
I remembered what that's
Instinctually.
from. It's from a Sonic cartoon. Dr. Robotnik gives it to someone as a tip. Always buy your shoes in the afternoon after your feet have expanded.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, especially if like you're running. I bet at the end of your marathon, Andy, on Sunday, your feet are going to be like 10
Extra size,
feet long. Yeah.
Wow.
Be like,
Are you going
yeah,
skiing?
elusive.
No, I've just done a marathon.
stretchy,
Just done a bloody marathon,
stretchy
mate, yeah.
powers like Miss Marvel. Yeah. Yeah. So he gives her all this advice, but then passes away. Unclear as to whether he was a traitor or not, but he's dead now, so all is
Yeah,
forgiven.
nobody knows. Even he doesn't know. He's like, have I been a traitor? I don't know.
I don't think he is. I think it was just. I think there's something going on here that. I mean, maybe this is what Joss Whedon wasn't happy about. You can't just go around saying stuff.
What's
Yeah,
what's to
Donald
there's a
remember about
destiny
the
about it.
what's to remember about the music thing? It happens later
Again.
when they're at the dance, right?
Donald Sutherland making shit up.
She reflects on it. He's like,
He's just saying things. He's like, Buffy, remember the music. Oh yeah. What about it? What about it? Just
The line
remember it.
was, "Remember your steak."
Thank you for the music.
Damn it,
and the
Donald.
songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who could live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would
Music.
life be?
Music makes the people come together. That's a good one. I'll write that down. Give it to Madonna for the future. Very
Yes,
nice.
all this advice.
So pretty much what happens after that is she pretty much just tries to go back. She goes back to school, tries to
She goes,
explain
right,
things
I've
to her
had enough of
friends.
this. I'm going to this dance. My friends think I'm mugging them off because I'm not planning this dance properly. Merrick's dead. Whether he's a traitor or not will never be established.
No.
But I'm going to this dance properly. Pike is a little bit annoyed about it, a bit put out. But she's going to go to the dance. Unfortunately, big old daddy vampire knows that her identity, and he also fancies going to the dance.
He just loves a good dance, Nothing to do with
Yeah.
Buffy going there. He just loves to attend a room full of
A
high
box social.
schoolers. He's a couple of 100 years old, which is extra noncy, and it's the next level of nonsense.
Next level nonsense.
Yeah, but yeah. So what happens initially when she turns up at the dance in a lovely wedding dress?
That's in a lovely wedding dress, but her boyfriend is now going out with one of her mates because he had needs.
Yeah, he had needs, and the last couple of
Yeah.
weeks she's just been, off. Yeah, not interested. And so she leaves, goes and finds Pike, and that is when they.
Pike turns up and finds her, so he does a classic tap on the shoulder. And then when she looks around, he comes around the other side and says, "Yeah, I got us a flower."
That's
There
a
you go.
great move. I love that. Never ever grow old. That never grow old. Also, what I never grow old is when you got something there on your chest and you go, what? Do you? Oh, Lydia, you got me. Never will not get a laugh from me. Classic humor.
So do a combination, do that, and then while they're annoyed about getting their nose, you dead leg them.
Dead leg 'em. Yeah, just descend into violence. Dead leg 'em. Headbutt 'em. Glasgow kiss.
Start making up your own ones. Angina,
twisted.
smack them in the middle of the chest. Oh,
Angina. Oh my God. Oh dear. Yeah. So what happens? She has a dance with Pike.
And they get over the fact that the boyfriend's copping off with her mate because they're there together now. They have a little kiss.
Very
Andy.
quickly, there's just some vampires at the door, hanging around.
Yeah, this
Just
reminded me
waving.
of was it Demon Night when they're trying to get in through the
Yeah.
bit
I know
like
what
that?
you mean.
And it's like,
Unfortunately,
oh, don't
these
worry,
guys are
don't invite-
seniors. They're-
Yeah, so they've been in. Don't worry, they can't get in unless we invite them. And Hilary Swank is like, I already invited them in because they're seniors.
What?
Fucking hell.
That's when.
You
That's
$1
when
million
they say to her,
dickhead.
Hilary. That's the swank. That is.
Hilary Swank. Yeah, so they all come in, and then we get basically. Are people
Well,
getting?
Buffy
turned
says she'll
and-
go out. So if you don't come out, we're going to come in. So Buffy
Oh,
comes
yeah.
in.
Pike
She does
gives
some-
her his leather jacket for some
So she,
reason.
she looks cool.
Yeah. Purely for that reason, yeah.
And then they do some high-speed karate fights outside.
You say high speed. But
Don't
it's
mean
not.
high speed.
This is like the slowest. So it's like the slowest vampire fight ever. I don't think she gets any of them. Eventually, she runs away, or gets chased away, and then if she comes face to face with Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. Well, the
Which would be
vampires go in
terrifying
the
in its
vampires
own
go
right.
in anyway. They go into the disco and start like getting people.
Yeah, so they start getting people. The DJ at one point is a normal DJ man, and then and it's been replaced with a vampire who's playing
But
like
see,
thrash metal or something.
I thought that's a moment in a film which would be like quite interesting. Like, do you remember in From Dusk Till Dawn when everyone turns into vampires, the band turned into vampires playing like severed heads,
Yeah,
like guitars. That was cool. This had like no impact because initially there was a DJ, just like some bloke. The next minute it's just like some vampire guy just playing. What was he playing? I don't remember.
it's some sort of metal, thrash
was
metal
it.
thing, right?
Yeah. To be fair, it looks a bit like the DJ's there. The vampire doesn't visibly get him. It looks like he just kind of shoves him under the table and then gets like a very pleased look on his face. It's like, the DJ
just wanted to be a DJ.
Gobby. And then he's
Oh God!
Because he shoves the guy into the table, given the attitude to consent in this movie. And I was like,
Gobby.
Gobby.
And he's like,
I would love to hear you call it a gobby in a not I'd ever be in a scenario where you said it in a serious manner. Oh, go on, give us a gobby. Just imagine that. You can take it seriously. What do you say? Oh God, gives a gobby.
It sounds like it's short for something else, like a gobstopper or something. Not a.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
it is a
first time,
gobstopper.
there was a really embarrassing misunderstanding years ago when somebody went to give someone a gobstopper and he gives a gobby, and then it just descended into chaos.
all right, yeah. Yeah. So we don't know that that's what's happening, but I think he'd be forgiven because he does shove him under the table and then like go and start like twitching his eyebrows while he's playing some different.
I thought he was just getting into the song. Yeah.
But it's good. I thought he's getting into a song, but definitely a gobby.
Yeah.
And then what happened? So
Big battle's
basically,
going Pee Wee Herman versus Buffy. She outfights him quite easily because he's only got one arm these days. This is probably my favorite line of the movie, where it's like, "Oh, I would do anything to satisfy like my master's needs." And he's, "Oh, go on then, clap." And he's like, "Got me there." And then she stabs him with like a ruler.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Pike's made a bunch of stakes out of like brushes and whatever else he had lying around the house.
So she stakes him, and then he takes ages to die. And I thought first I was like, "Oh, hang on, is this a vampire that's immune to being staked?" No, he does die. It just takes ages.
Takes ages and ages.
I thought maybe he's not a vampire. Maybe he's like an eagle sort of guy who's
a familiar.
Yeah, man. He doesn't actually
Those
die.
fangs aren't even real, are they?
Yeah, but no, he was dying. It just he was just taking time, and he also wasn't that bothered. He's like, "Oh, if I'm gonna go,
well,
so I am to die."
Yeah, time is now.
Don't look for me. I'm already gone.
Yeah, he takes longer to die than Merrick did.
Yeah,
he's doing like the mouse. He's like, "Ooh, ah, ooh." So tiny till we're
like,
home this Christmas.
Pee Wee, you want to do another take of that? He's like, no, I think we've got that in the bag.
Nah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. What's wrong with that? Perfect. And then Lothos does try and do some stuff to Buffy again, but then when the music stops, that is like when she remembers Merrick's words again, and like
this is our silence. Maybe his magic is based on music because he's playing the violin in the first place. Maybe that's why.
Kind of weird, don't it? That remember the music thing. It seems to have no impact. Like it was, I felt like it was supposed to be like a coincidence thing. Like you'll know when the moment comes. You know, like in Signs when Joaquin Phoenix has to swing away and he remembers. Oh yeah, the bat's on the wall. What a coincidence! And oh yeah, everything's
all
linked.
the bits
and
have
stuff.
fallen into place. On this
It
time,
was
it's
like-
just an arbitrary things that happen.
Yeah, it's just like what could it be? Music. Yeah, music stops.
The music
Very
in the
silly.
disco upstairs at the disco stops as well because of some things. Pike fighting with Benny, maybe, and he gives him
Yeah.
some. He pours the contents of the infinite hip flask in his face.
Oh, that takes a while, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Bloody hell. Yeah. So is it supposed to be holy
It's
water?
waterboarding him.
Has
Must be
anyone
holy, must be holy water.
blessed? Why is it holy? Who's blessed that?
Might be
Who
communion
knows?
wine.
Burns his
Put
face
in
up. And then Buffy versus Lothos is a bit uneventful, isn't it? It's a bit.
Well, he
She-
grabs the stake, not the stake, the cross, and it sets on fire. So they're both holding this cross, and it's just kind of a cool move. Like she gets out her deodorant, body spray,
Yeah.
whatever, and
It's
squirts
a
him.
Lynx Africa out. Yeah.
Squirts him.
But and it looks kind of cool, but and it's like hair's on fire and stuff. But he's not bothered at all. Like it doesn't do any.
No. And then she just walk away from that as if to say, "Yeah, see
Yeah,
you
I think
later.
that's done.
That'll
I
teach
win."
you. And then he turns back up at the disco in his full outfit with a sword. Because
Yeah.
he's
Yes,
having his face burned, he's gone, right, that's it. I'm gonna go to my car. I'm
fuming.
gonna get my sword and take this. This will show him.
Yeah.
So he turns up and they have a final battle, flagpole versus sword. Lothos gets the upper hand for a while.
Why
but
doesn't
then,
the sword go through the flagpole?
that's
Like
the
the
chosen
flagpole. Oh, okay.
Is it the same as the knife and this hot dog situation for you? You're like, hang on a minute. This film's what it's not getting right is things slicing things correctly.
Yeah, the slicing
True.
mechanics of this film are way out of line.
I think she should have used. She should have had that same butter knife on her that she used to chop the hot dog earlier.
That'd sort him out.
Yeah.
Pike jumps on. Lothos gets the upper hand for a minute, but Pike jumps on his back, and then she does what I feel is a classic Buffy move, where you stake someone and then do a kick to push the stake in a bit further.
I think Blade does that as well at one point.
Hmm.
It's just a vampire hunter. It's like lesson one.
Yeah.
Like stake him, roundhouse kick, get it all the way in.
Yeah, and that's enough. And he's already he's changed his tune because at first he was trying to seduce with his power, and then when the magic stops, he goes, "Oh, you bitch," and throws her. So he calls her a bitch again, which is no good, and then she roundhouse kicks him, and he's done for. The greatest tragedy of this movie is that the teacher appears to have lost it because he's going around dishing out detentions to the corpses of vampires, and then knocks Hilary Swank out.
Yeah.
What did he do that? How does he do that?
He doesn't even so he's going around, all the dead vampires are staked on the floor, and he's like, detention, 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 detention. On there's one more, detention. And then Buffy turns up and Hilary Swank goes, "Oh no, she's gonna bring devastation on us all." And he just grabs her head and slams it against a wall.
Wow. Yeah.
Knocks her out. And then
So
she's
aggressive.
That's
his finishing
she's
move. The
she's interviewed in the
headmaster.
credits and is clearly concussed. Yeah, the headmaster. That's his finisher.
Wow.
So he takes her out, and then kind of the end, right? Buffy and Spike, Buffy
Get
and
on a
Pike,
bike.
rather.
Yeah, it's when he says
Oh my
Spike.
God. I didn't even make that connection. Buffy
Yeah.
and Pike, Buffy and Spike.
It's weird that I don't know. Maybe Josh was like, "I like the name Pike. I don't want to lose that. Let's just call it Spike." And
Spike and
because
Pike.
they're not related at all. I don't know if there's another character called Pike in a TV show. I don't know, but it's
Dad's
it's
Army.
interesting.
Dad's
It
Army, yeah.
makes me-
Literally just about to say that. Dad's
Plus,
Army.
Pike's not a name.
That-
Pike's a fish. as
Don't tell
well.
him, Pike.
Yeah, she says that as well, despite in an earlier scene showing up that she was not a good student, knows all about a freshwater fish thing.
Yeah. So, out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Blade, which is your favorite vampire killing movie?
Vampire
of
killing
this-
movie.
This one and Blade 1.
Probably Blade
Is
1.
that a trick question? I can't
No.
tell.
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's an obvious question.
I mean,
obvious
It's,
answer.
it's a question.
Let's give this some serious consideration. I haven't seen Blade for a while. I don't think there is a full cheerleading scene in Blade.
There is.
No.
Oh,
Where
there
he shakes
is?
his caboose. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's the
I'd
bit
say-
in Blade 1 where he's had all his blood taken out and he gets to suckle on that girl who's been helping him out. And he goes crazy, he starts killing everyone, then jumps down the center of the temple, lands on the floor like a superhero landing, and he goes, Frost.
And then
And
Deacon
it's like,
Frost
wow.
turns into a blood tornado.
Most badass like moment in film history, surely. It's so
And
good.
in the same film, some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. Is you know, and I don't think any line in this movie uttered by anybody could rival that. So for that reason, I'd say Blade. And
Yeah.
also
And not even remember the music.
what from Blade?
No, just this film. That the line, remember the music, the iconic line.
Oh, okay. Oh, you like I
Yeah.
remember the music from this film. Don't remember anything there.
I mean,
Not
when
even
it comes down to that, yeah. Which
Have we
of the
have we done Blade?
no?
I don't think we
Yeah,
have.
yeah, we
We
done
have.
Blade.
Did
Have
we?
we?
Did you?
Yeah, quite a while ago.
Done
I
Blade
think
2.
it may have just been me and Luke. But we did episode 104. We did Blade.
There you go, Blade.
Wow.
Can you believe back in 2019? So yeah, if you
How time flies.
how it does.
Which of the discos would you rather have gone to? The Blade disco,
That
Oh.
terrifying Matrix looking
Blood
blood
rave.
showering
Yeah.
rave.
I mean, if you're a vampire,
That
then
one.
yes, the rave. If you're
Yeah.
not a vampire and you're at the rave, fuck no.
Yeah. That'd be
I don't
terrifying.
think if I was a vampire or not a vampire, I don't think I'd want to go to this to the school dance in
to
Buffy.
this school
Just
dance.
full
You
of
might get
twats.
attention from that man.
So, I have some name game for you guys already.
Very
Aye, aye.
nice. Always ready.
That's the end of the film, right? Don't have much happened.
There's
after
a there's
Oh,
a
yeah, what
news
happens?
scene over the TV at the end where Hilary Swank is concussed, and then there is a post-credit scene where Pee Wee Herman is still fucking dying.
Oh god.
that.
Just him
Okay.
again, and he gets back up and like goes, "Ooh," and then dies again.
Oh my arse.
Okay. So, name game. The first one I have, it's a very short synopsis for a film.
Mhm.
A footballer with a bad knee. A footballer with a bad knee.
A footballer with a
Um,
bad knee.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A footballer with a bad knee.
Footy. Or yeah,
Is the first word footy?
No.
something something Buffy the bad knee player.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. This is Duffy, the limpia player. 'Cause he's limpier than the other players.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Duffy.
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 Duffy. Yeah, don't get it wrong. That's
Next one
important. Don't get it wrong.
is about a thrash metal band, the ones who did that Rain in Blood song, and they're all trying to fit inside a small van.
Something
The
about
the van.
the van
The entire band is trying to get inside a small van.
Stuffy. The Van Hire
van-
Slayer.
Van Hire Slayer.
What did you say? The Van
Stuffy.
Hire. What?
Van
The
Hire
Van
Slayer.
Hire Slayer.
The Van Hire Slayer.
Yeah, they hired a
Oh,
van.
that's quite good. I put Stuffy the entire Slayer, like the entire band.
Oh,
But Van Hire Slayers who.
Van Hire Slayer.
Way better.
Okay, last one from me anyway. A particularly hirsute doggy is very obedient but only for a shouting man who's ringing a bell. So a particularly hirsute dog,
Fluffy.
very fluffy, yeah,
Fluffy.
and he's very obedient, but only for a shouting man ringing a bell.
The Fluffy.
The town crier.
Yeah,
Scruffy, the town crier, obeyer.
yeah, Fluffy the town crier.
wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed that.
I got a couple for you, Luke, when you mentioned this is a hard one.
Yeah.
So, in a local town, how did we describe Buffy? A flighty battler.
Yeah.
So flighty battler, Buffy Summers, is astounded when the mascot of their local basketball team begins sucking blood. So she has to sort him out.
Their mascot. I didn't think I saw their mascot.
The team is called the Hogs, so he's a big pig.
Pig.
The big pig. Buffy the ham.
Yeah. So if a pig was a vampire, what would you say it was?
Hampire.
Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Very good.
As easy as that.
In this version of the film, slight twist on it. Luke, maybe you've watched this recently yourself, actually. It's pretty much the same film, except the protagonist is flipped over, and it is cartoon dog Scooby-Doo.
I was going to say Scrappy.
So
it's not Scrappy the Vampire Slayer.
It's the exact same film, except it's done through the POV and the voice of Scooby-Doo the dog.
Ruffy.
Yeah, that's right. So Ruffy.
The Vampire Rare.
Yeah, that's right.
Ruffy the Vampire Rare.
Ruffy the Vampire Rare.
Very good.
Next, a young flighty battler
Flighty battler.
just goes around, and she's quite an abrasive character. Really doesn't take no nonsense, doesn't have all the airs and graces of polite conversation.
Scruffy.
And she goes around. She's just quite clipped in her speech. Just comes off as rude the way she talks. Bit of a grump. And she goes around very specifically bloodsuckers such as Ackroyd, our friend Wilcox. She goes around and just makes sure that their cats can't breed.
Dan.
Something Speyer. Speyer's the last
Correct.
name.
Is
Yeah,
it
I'm not sure about the
Grumpy
rest.
or something? Grumpy the Dan.
Yeah, so
Speyer.
it's Gruffy the Dampire Speyer. She goes around making sure the cats can't breed. And then finally, the exact film we've just watched, except it's as it came up when we did X. This is the porn parody title of this movie.
Buffy the Vampire Layer.
It's not the one I've gone for actually, Ben, but that is acceptable.
Ben said that
In this
immediately.
case, it's quite
He has
a
On
it's quite
VHS.
a
don't
our
mug me
lead
off.
character in this is quite a hunky boy.
Buffy.
And it's
I don't
a
know.
Bukaki movie, maybe.
Oh Jesus. A hunky boy. Studdy.
Spunky.
Funky.
Unfortunately not. It's Beefy the Vampire Sprayer.
Beefy. Horrible.
Sprayer.
Yeah, the Vampire Sprayer. And there we
Yeah.
go.
Wow.
What a
Can't
time.
argue with that. Can't argue with that for a second. Good
Yeah.
times all round. Good effort from
You
everybody.
got any off the top of the dome, Ben? Bit of a it's not an
don't
easy
think
one.
I don't feel I can participate because I didn't prepare. Prepare to fail. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail, and I failed, unfortunately. But yeah, enjoyed yours.
What's the what scores are we going for?
Oh, it's a good question. Anybody want to jump in first?
I don't mind. I'm gonna go for a D, solid D for disappointing, I think I don't know. I think obviously the core concept it works. I mean, this is pretty much Salem's Lot, but at a high school and as a vampire killer cheerleader. The core concept works really well, but I feel like it's just so slow, and it seemed to be getting into its own way more than not. It's just kind of boring. It's kind of boring and lackluster.
Points for
Kinda
the
boring.
action, though, right?
Yeah, the action was really good.
You really like
I
how
don't-
you could probably use that as a tutorial to do the moves yourself. It's really
Yeah.
step by step.
What's the lowest we usually give? E.
I don't think we've ever given anything an F.
You've given an F, haven't you?
A, B,
for
C, D, E, F.
For
All right,
Uwe Boll?
let's go for
Maybe it's
probably harsh. E plus. Is that harsh?
plus.
Yeah, let's go for a
Yes.
plus. I don't want to go for a flat A. I don't know. I didn't enjoy like any element of this really. I know I understand what it's going for, but it just felt, for lack of a better word, toothless. I didn't recognize anything to do. Obviously, this is prior to the series, I know, but the character, I didn't recognize Buffy in Kristy Swanson's performance at all. I didn't really like any of the high school drama stuff or any of the high school. And in terms of like, this podcast is called Horror Hangout, and it was probably one of the least horror themed movies we've ever done, because it's felt like whoever wrote, we know who wrote this film, Joss Whedon, but whoever directed this film didn't really even know what a vampire really was, or just someone who's a bit bitey. There was none of that. The mythology of it was not really there. All the flashbacks to the past were like laughable, bit pantomime, and the action, just the whole film was just a bit of a mess. I was unfortunately bored, and as I mentioned already, the fact that it's got some huge titans of cinema in this movie, and they're just completely
Wasted?
wasted, but also like, I don't know, just unrecognizable in the roles. So yeah, I was not into it, unfortunately, but just made me want to go and watch the series,
Yeah, it made me want to go watch the series because I was like, let's see it done properly. I'll be so Kat kind of hasn't seen the TV show, and she kind of looked over a couple of times as I was watching this, and I was like, this isn't Buffy.
Don't judge it on this.
This
no.
isn't it.
Yeah.
Is that on
This
your
isn't Buffy?
Is that perhaps one of your next watches after you finish Supernatural?
Maybe actually. I mean, since watching this film, I was like, I would like to watch it again. I don't think I've ever seen Buffy all the way through. I remember just going over to Angel and watching that instead. But there was a time where I did like Buffy quite a bit. It was like a nice evening viewing after school. Yeah.
What about you, Andy? Have you got a
I am going to join you actually. I think Ben on an E plus, just because I think for the same reason, and maybe Joss Whedon has a point. I think if this had leaned more into the comedy, because sometimes it is quite serious and it, like, there are jokes in it, but sometimes I feel like it is taking itself seriously, and I don't think it can necessarily pull that off. Maybe if it had more leaning into the comedy elements, then it would be it'd work a little bit more. But you're right. I think the action didn't really do it for me. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, Jurassic Park came out a year after this. Like, you could have done a lot better. That film had a lot more money spent on it. But you can do low budget and still have more credible action. Power Rangers seems to come up a lot for us, but that was coming out in that era, and at least as far as my memory goes, that moved at a little bit more of a pace. And I think that's what you need in your action. And also, I think you could have made it a little less bloodless, a little more affecting when you're fighting the vampires, because that's what vampires do. And effects existed to make things disappear into dust rather than just being on the floor,
obviously,
getting detentions.
Did we see a drop of blood in this film? Considering
gets a
they're
bit
blood
on her
suckers.
chin.
red rubies. Oh yeah, she got. Does she?
Yeah, when she's fought, and it might not be her blood. She gets like some blood on her
It
chin.
made
from
me
fighting the
bleed my
vampire.
own blood.
And
Nobody
she
makes me
gets
bleed
maybe
my
a
own
cut on her
blood.
leg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
grazes
so
the knee.
it's a bit bloodless. It's a little bit it's just a lot of things. And I remember distinctly wanting to watch this when I was a kid and never got to see it. It's a little bit of a disappointment having finally got to it. But you know what? It inspired a very popular series. So
Oh, yeah.
that still
That is-
still exists. So I don't think if you're a fan of the series, you would necessarily need to go back and experience this.
Yeah.
No.
And as
I
you
don't
said to
think
Cat Luke,
I'd
don't
recommend it.
I imagine do not base whether or not you'll like the series on what is presented here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there's lots of other Buffy you can enjoy. Maybe go and enjoy some of that.
Good advice.
If you want to watch Kirsty Swanson, see what Kirsty Swanson's up to, watch Deadly Friend every day.
Yeah.
There we go.
See her with a robot brain kill an old lady
Yeah.
With a
So
basketball.
good.
with a basketball, smash Mama Fratelli's head right off.
So we have a special thing to end the show with, but before we do that, quick thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/horror hangout. You can get access to early access episodes, some bonus content, and some free stuff. Thanks to our current patrons: Lane Spencer, John Crinnan, Ben Scaife, Stephen Christopher, Toby Miller, Laura Kendrick, Scott Rigby, Ollie Child, Julia Bilgren, Leslie Carlo, and Pazuzu. Thanks to Kovac Carmen for our theme music. Thanks to Acast hosting the show. Please rate and review and subscribe. And yeah, thanks to my co-hosts Ben and Andy for being right her dudes. But we have
Yes.
what's our
Thank you guys.
Special
special?
outro today.
Well, what we do next week we're doing the Changeling. That's correct, isn't it? I think Andy,
next week?
you're
Me, I'm on my
recovering.
holidays next
You're on
week.
your holidays,
yeah.
recovering from legs being battered. Good luck, of course.
I am also
For your
away next
legs.
week, actually. I've just
Luke's
remembered.
away next week as well, so it'll be just be me. Just be me on my own doing a
Maybe we'll
podcast called The Changeling.
Maybe we'll see you on a fortnight, or maybe you could get a guest host, and it'd be like we've been replaced, like changelings.
Who knows? You know, you've been replaced like changelings. Yeah, I'll get Andy Turner Conduit and Liam
Condor with a C.
Condor.
Like
Luke
come
Condor
to
with a
the
C.
sea.
Exactly. I'm sure I could find someone out there. Someone on our vast list of former guest hosts who'd get involved. We'll sort it out. But yeah, we've got a little special ending for the show. Taj Easton, who we discussed last week, he gave us some little soundy snippets, which we've been enjoying. But he's developed a Horror Hangout original song using a quote from the episode me and Luke did about The Omen back in 2018,
Long time
2019.
ago,
Yeah, where Luke's line, "The baboons bark at the bad boy," has been immortalized in audio form. So that is going to play us out for to the end of the episode. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Well, I'll see you next time. But these guys,
We'll see you in a
maybe
couple
won't.
of weeks, well rested. Now, Ben,
yeah.
if I know anything about changelings, I think you have to smash them with wrought iron or put them in a fire. So please do that with the guest hosts at the end, so
That's
Luke
good
and
to
I
know.
can return from the shadow realm.
That's good to know. Thank you. Okay, so until next week, this is the baboons bark at the bad boy. Enjoy.
To go into drive-through baboonery, the baboons bark. The baboons bark at the boy, at the bad boy. The baboons bark 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 at the boy. The baboons bark at the bad 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 boy. And the baboons bark at the bad boy. The baboons bark at the bad boy. The baboons bark at the bad boy. The baboons bark at the boy.